All right.
But
All right. So now we're gonna hit these glamour muscles here, which the calf muscles. They really don't get any play in legs because everything you do in legs is pretty much compound, and your calves are kept out of it. So we want to isolate the calves. So here I'm on a press machine, and I'm basically using the very edge of the machine to isolate these calves. All right. And what Jay's doing, he's standing on dumbbells and he's holding a kettle. The resourceful man that he is, man, being in the gym and being crowded, he's making great use of his equipment. All right. So the key is
you see
he's
my
not
pretty
touching
calves? You see those?
he's not
Look at
touching the
my
ground
calves, bro.
on the
Whoa.
lower extension. He's not touching the ground. So that's very important. And we want to hold these. We want to hold these contractions, man, to be able to I guess basically X stops your Achilles because the Achilles, what the Achilles does, it kind of stores up energy and bounces you back. It's kind of like a rubber band. So when you're holding these exercises, you're basically isolating that muscle to be able to promote growth. All right. So what I'm doing here, I'm on the machine, same thing, but just we're blessed, privileged here with this machine. So I'm just basically coming up and look, when you're using these type of machines, make sure that you keep it locked in place. Okay, that's very important. All right, because you're not doing a very wide range of motion here. Okay, so I'm just holding it down and I'm extending up and I'm holding it for 3 seconds and I'm coming back down and I'm holding that for 3 seconds. Coming up, I'm holding it for 3 seconds. You should feel that. And if you don't, you ain't doing something right. All right. But
Perfect.
and then
Perfect.
again, if you're at home and you could do it, you could do it on a set of stairs. Same thing. You hold your weight, your milk jugs, whatever you have, and you just kind of hold that extension, and then you come back down and make sure that you have full extension on the way back down. Simple enough, man. No excuses, right?
No excuses, bro.
Is that really?
Back in the days on the Boulevard of Linden, I
Uh
used to
huh.
when I was a kid, right? I used to go out on the terrace, on the terrace of my mom's apartment, and I would just hold on to the rail and I would hit these, right? Even if you don't have weights, even if you don't have energy for that day to get to the gym, you could sit there and just watch your favorite show, or you could sit there and cook dinner and just hit some calf raises. It's one of the simplest exercises that you can do, and you'll have beautiful python calves like mine. You see that?
Yeah. You blessed individual, bro. I'm a hard baby when
Yo,
it comes to
I got
calves.
another question for y'all, man. Yo, this is a rare incident where everybody all three of us are our dad, no, girl dads. Is it girl dads?
Yeah.
Yeah, with girl dads. Tacuma has two, I have three, Dave has three, right? So shout out to
Yeah.
the girl dads, right? Tacuma, you mentioned something earlier um about working out your kids, and you said that instead of like using weights and things like that, you have them lifting their body weight. That's pretty much how your setup in your home gym is, which is super dope. And I do the same thing with my daughters. I put them through a pretty heavy regimen. They do a little weightlifting where they hold when they do their squats, but very important to get your children into fitness. But you do something amazing with your daughters where you train them in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they they train a lot of stuff. So they started out at the same gym that I did. Sarah Ann, my oldest daughter, she's 13 now. She started out at a gym called Evolve Academy of Martial Arts, probably when she was 6. And so they do functional martial arts. So she started out doing a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They do what's called no gi, which is submission grappling, where you don't wear a gi or a kimono as you do. And so it's you also learn how to wrestle, and then you do striking, you do Muay Thai. So she started out kind of doing it all. Mariah did the exact same thing, same track, but because I've been doing this stuff for a long time, we do a lot of it at home as well. I have
Yeah.
my looking at things, and I try to teach them that. So yeah, they do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They do. Sarah Ann just started wrestling this year. Want to start wrestling this year at her middle school. And then we do a lot of striking stuff as well. So I don't want to make it seem like it's just Jiu-Jitsu, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot of different training. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yo, so how old are your kids, Takuma?
Excuse me.
How old are your kids?
So I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old.
9 year old. Okay, so when's like 13 and 9, and you got them started pretty early. I would take it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, have you noticed any change in their confidence level from the time that you started them to this point now? I know that's a weird question because it's like hard to contrast because you got them started pretty early. But
No, that's a great question.
No,
That's
no,
a great
the
question.
difference.
that's 100%. There are only two reasons martial itself. It has to do with everything with confidence, and it has to do with being mentally tough. And I've seen Sarah Ann, who's the oldest, who's been doing it the longest. I've seen a completely different from her. You know, we were talking about it that she's in middle school. You know, middle school girls are mean, and she talks bullies and stuff. And she's like, dude, I'll never be bullied. And it's not. She's a small girl. It's not because necessarily she thinks she can beat up everybody, but it's just like she has the mentality. It's like, no, I'm not going to be a pushover. You know, I'm not. She's not going to take it. She's going to stand up for herself. And when you think about kids, the biggest problem that they have when is, especially if you don't know anything about fighting, the bigger person's always going to win, right? That's just the way. Right. That's just how. And so and they're not used to confrontation. So if you put them in a situation where someone's confronting them and they're bigger, it's very easy for them to get bullied. But when you do martial arts, especially when you do grappling arts, you're so used to being a
smaller person.
You're so used to being, you know, and dealing with people who are bigger than you and all different body types, that it's just another, you know, you kind of get used to it. So her confidence is through the roof. My little, very talented. She's naturally talented, but she's one of these people, she doesn't like confrontation naturally. She's just a very happy-go-lucky type of girl. So it was really hard for me to get her to do it and get her out of her comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like she did a tournament when she was probably 7 or 8, and she was going against boys, and she got to the finals of the tournament. She was choking people out, all this stuff, but she was crying, you know, because she was like, I don't want to do this, you know. So
you said she was wait. You said she was crying?
Yeah, she was crying.
Yeah.
Because it's a pressure. You know, you got to get used to. People are not used to like public speaking for adults. You know, you put a bunch of people watching you. It doesn't matter if you do well or not. It's kind of a nervous environment. You know what I mean? It's an uncomfortable environment. So, but getting them used to being in those sort of environments, I think bodes well for the future for them. And yeah, so I think it's really helped their confidence, especially the oldest one. The youngest one she's still 9. You know what I mean? She's still going through it. As long as I don't pressure them to do this stuff. We do it when it's fun. I make it a game. You know, like when you wrestle as a kid. You know, you go wrestle. You know, it's fun for them. So as long as I keep that way, they learn. And I think over time, it definitely helps them with their confidence.
That's dope, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Important for our Black girls to have confidence, bro. Like super important.
Sure.
And then important for women in general. You know, no matter what hue you are, right, or what ethnicity you are. It's important for women to know that they're strong, and be able to defend themselves. You know, because of course we come from a nation that preys on women. You know, so kudos, man. Kudos. And to all of our workout buddies at home, man. You know, be more conscious about the way we raise our daughters. You know,
like what Rhapsody said, man. Rhapsody said, you know, she 5'1" with a 6'9" stride. You know what I mean? That confidence level is very important.
Exactly.
When we were stationed in Japan, I had my kids enrolled in Taekwondo, and man, I saw a big change. And that's why I asked that question, because you know, it was one of those things where, like, my middle daughter's the champion, and she doesn't mess around. And she recently just got into a fight in school, and you know, of course, she's a happy-go-lucky, just like your daughter, and she doesn't like confrontation. But man, when you know, it's like a possum in the corner. It's like a possum in the corner, man. She attacked, and she definitely came out the victor, man, rapidly too. It was a very quick victory. So yeah, I definitely see the difference. That's a big difference maker in my family.
She dropped shorty like an MMA fighter, bro. I saw the footage. Yo, Dave, my calves feel good, man. Let's move on to a core exercise, man. So
let's do it.
We could get on out of here, man. I got you know, I want to know a little bit more about Tacuma. Got some questions for him about the days of his youth. So what we got next?
I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to sign the honest. I don't want nothing.